I get so caught up in the middle, thinking of drowning in those blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down.
Hi ladies, and welcome to another weekly prep of a working mom. Today we're gonna do a lot of cleaning, organizing, and meal prepping. So basically the regular things we do every weekend to get ready for the week ahead.
Deep down, and it's not a lie that I
So this is the to-do list we are working with. Lots of cleaning, lots of organization. I need to do meal prep. I have to go to a few stores. And this is definitely gonna be spread out over 2 days. There's no way I can get all of this done today, but let's get started. And this is the state of my house that particular weekend. I think this was about a week before Easter. So you see a lot of Easter stuff, a lot of stuff I got from Target and I think Costco. Just a random assortment of things on my kitchen island, which, as you know, is my dumping ground. The kitchen did not look too bad. There was just a sink full of clean and dirty dishes. Just a random assortment of things to put away. And kitchen is usually where I do get started. For some reason, I feel like if my kitchen is clean, then my house is gonna get picked up much quicker. I don't know. Let me know if you always start in the kitchen as well. But as you saw in the kitchen island, I got myself a new drying rack for my sink. So I was very motivated to get my kitchen going because it was just getting to a point where I could not get it clean anymore and it was bothering me. So we were starting in the kitchen, getting the sink empty and clean, getting the stovetop and the kitchen counters clean as well. So this is the part I was excited about, to change that drying rack for my dishes. And turns out I got the wrong size. It was too small for my sink, which is funny. I have been doing that for the past few times when I was buying something, thinking that my space is smaller than it actually is. And I think it's because before I was doing it the other way, getting things that were too big. So clearly I need to measure things before I go and buy it. So later on that day, I went back to Target and exchanged my drying rack for one that actually fits. And if you are new to my channel, my name is Marta. I am a full-time working mom of two. I have an 8-year-old and 5-year-old. And I am just your typical working mom trying to balance it all in my own version, which is the imperfect one. So if you enjoy content about house management and time management for working moms, make sure that you subscribe down below. And then I moved my way down to my stovetop, which I swear gets dirty so quickly. I don't know if it's just me, if it's because it's a stainless steel and you can see everything on it. But I swear, every day it's just, even if I cook something like mac and cheese for my son, somehow I manage to splatter things on it. So it really needs to be cleaned on a daily basis. And I try my hardest to do it, but some days it just doesn't work out. And clearly, the day before it didn't happen for my stovetop. So that's what I was doing. I wanted to also wash a coffee pot. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's like a French press or something of that nature that I actually found in my basement. I had used it before, and then I bought a bigger coffee maker. And now I have been on a kick lately to declutter my kitchen, like the counter space, just getting it to a point where I only have stuff that I actually use. So a couple of weeks ago, I got myself that fruit basket. That's like a two-tier, which makes it much easier because it saves a lot of space. And at that point, I realized that the coffee maker that I have, so I have an espresso machine and I have a coffee maker. And I would usually drink one type of coffee each day. And I realized that that coffee maker is huge and I didn't necessarily want to spend money on getting something smaller. And then I realized I actually have a coffee maker downstairs. So I grabbed it. I took the giant one down to the basement and I will probably get rid of it because I only really use it when we are having, company and a lot of people want coffee. But even with that, a lot of people actually request the espresso coffee, a cappuccino, latte. So I rarely ever use it. And the funniest part is, ever since I made the switch, I never made coffee again in the afternoon. I basically stick to my one latte in the morning, and that seems to be sufficient. So maybe that was one way of getting me to drink less coffee.
Strangers when you stepped into my life, such a magic feeling when you tore down my walls. I wish I could go back to right before you told me I'd try to change it all. But look at us now, we could have gone so far. It hurts to realize we're parted. Yeah, look at us now, this is who we are. And I just know things will never be the same. We're like strangers again.
And as I was decluttering the mess on my kitchen island, I wanted to also get a head start on my daughter's Easter basket. It's a new one that I got her this year to take to church on Holy Saturday, which is a typical Polish tradition that we do when we go to church to get our food blessed that then we eat on Easter Sunday. So I was getting that ready, and the one that I bought had, I don't know, they were trying to make it like higher to put the stuff on top of it, and they hot glued it to the bottom, so I just had to use scissors, and it took a while. I cut out most of it from this video because it was very boring. But I wanted to get a head start on that because the week before Easter was an extremely busy week for me at work, so I knew I'm not gonna have much time in the evenings.
Strangers again. We're like strangers again. I just know.
And finally, the exciting part of the day, which is changing that dish dryer rack. So it did fit. It was the same size I had before because the one I had before was also from Target. So even though it kind of looked like it didn't fit, I remember that's exactly how I did fit it the first time. So I was finally glad. I think it looks so much better, so much brighter, and definitely much cleaner. And I also find it funny that little things like that can really make me feel much more positive and make me make my day much better. Am I the only one who gets excited about little things like that? Let me know in the comments. And this is my next kind of a task or project, was to move my command center from its old space to the new one in the other part of the kitchen. I mentioned that in my previous video that it was really bothering me that the old one was kind of getting very cluttered, and it was in the middle of our living space. So anybody who would come in, that's kind of right there in the center for everybody to see. So that's why I have gotten my command center moved. I got one a little bigger, and this is the one I was talking about before. I purchased that also in Target, and as I was buying it, I was like, oh my goodness, I think it's too big. Even though I measured and it did fit, I still was questioning myself, but it did fit. My husband actually, when he saw it, he's like, oh my God, it's not gonna fit. And then he's like, well, actually it does. So I wasn't the only one with that one. But look how much cleaner it looks with just nothing over there. I will probably end up getting maybe like a house plant for there to make it like a permanent, but I was just excited to see that. And in a typical tradition, once I started decluttering one space, I wanted to tackle another one, which is what I'm doing right now. It's a cabinet right under that, where I have just a lot of like lids and placemats, and also like baking sheets. My kitchen has very small cabinets, so I am still trying to figure out if I can find something to help me keep it more organized. The things I have been finding are too big for that space, so I'll keep looking because I would like to have one that kind of keeps it more organized, because every time I have to pull it out, I have to push the other ones aside. But I wanted to get rid of some of the things from there that I no longer used.
In and out of love, never get enough. We never seem to get older. When things are going right, you seem to have the time. But when it's hard, you just grow cold up. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words repeat, cause we're scared of the silence. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires around ourselves. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words repeat, cause we're scared of the silence. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires around ourselves. It's deja vu. Memories come back when I'm with you. It's deja vu. Memories come back when I'm with you. Been here 1,000 times, set up a stage of lies.
And as I'm editing this video, I think it's also funny that I tend to clean my living space in the same order. So it's always kitchen, then it's the kitchen island, and then it's the living room table, and then the rest of the living room. I tend to do it in that order unless something else is happening. Like if my husband or kids are using the table, then I'll kind of move to the rest of it and come back. But I tend to do it in the same order. So let me know if you are the same way.
Say we're done, say it's over. Shouldn't be coming back, but somehow we connect. Acting drunk even though we're sober. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words repeat, cause we're scared of the silence. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires around ourselves. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words repeat, cause we're scared of the silence. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires around ourselves. It's deja vu.
And now to my least favorite part of cleaning is the floors. And I don't know if it's the least favorite because it's just so tiring, or because it's almost always at the end of my cleaning and I am tired by then. I don't know. It doesn't take that long really, but I always want to be done with it as soon as I start.
Walking home late at night, maybe 2:30. A little drunk, but I'm alright, cause I've been hanging with you, and it feels like love. Tell me if I'm wrong, cause it feels like love. Yeah, it feels like love. Come come on, come on, come on.
Okay, we are on day 2. Today is Saturday. As you can see, it's 2:45. So what I have happening here is kind of like batch cooking here for some freezer soups and pasta for my son. So I have a chicken soup, I have tomato soup. Here I have water boiling for the pasta. Clearly a little messy. I just cleaned it up because when I cook it's pretty messy. So this is the pasta I'm gonna make for my son. I guess it's called mastacholi, if that's how you call it. I basically cook the pasta. It's very simple. Then I mix it in with the tomato sauce. I add some garlic, a bit of salt, and shredded cheese. I mix it up. I bake one, and the other 2 portions I freeze, and then I bake it whenever we are ready to eat it. Then I'm gonna have some pasta for the chicken soup, and I'm also gonna make some ground turkey meatballs. So not a lot of food that it's cooking, but I'm trying to get it done so it's just easier during the week when I can pull something out of the freezer. If you are a working mom, I'm sure you can relate to that. And as you can see, I was using just a random assortment of cheese. I had a few of those packets from like different salad kits that I buy. Whenever I buy a salad kit, I tend not to use the cheese because I don't like cheese on my salads, unless it's like a thinly shredded Parmesan cheese. So I had a lot of that, so I decided to use that up because it's gonna be all melted anyway, so my son will not know the difference, and he's really not that picky when it comes to cheese in his food.
I think about you and I want you here with me. Am I out of my mind, or is this how it should be? You made me sing about love, so just tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels like love. Yeah, it feels like love. Yeah. Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine.
So like I said before, this pasta is extremely easy to make. It's really just pasta, cheese, and some tomato sauce with some garlic and onion, spices, and some salt. I am trying for him to eat more like protein. So I usually will have meatballs for him on the side. So he has pasta and meatballs, but I will try to integrate meat into the actual pasta and see if he will eat it. My kids are extremely picky, like beyond anything that I have ever experienced. So I am trying my hardest to get them to eat more food, and my son has been doing really good over the past few months, really trying to just, experiment with food, which is really all I am asking for them to try food, because if they don't try it, I don't know if they like it. And my daughter is still on a stage where she will not even try it if it doesn't look appealing to her. So if you are a parent who is struggling with feeding their kids, I'm with you. I completely understand. It's not as easy as, make them eat whatever you're serving. Yeah, I'm with you. If you're struggling, I completely understand.
I get so caught up in the middle, thinking of drowning in those blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling.
So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna freeze 2 of those trays. So I put them also in a Ziploc bag so it doesn't get like any freezer burns. And one of them I was making that night for him, so I was putting it in the oven. And then I moved on to my soups. So the tomato soup is all blended in. That's how my kids enjoy it. That's why I am able to sneak some carrots and zucchini in there, and they will eat it. They don't like any noodles in their soup, so which is fine. It's not like noodle really provides any nutritional value. So I have tomato soup, and the other one I had chicken soup. So I just put them in those small containers. I freeze them. I leave one or two in a fridge for the week, and then the rest go in a freezer. So I all label them all, put the date when I made it, so I know when I can, the order in which I need to defrost them and we need to eat them. And this system of batch cooking soups is something that I had started doing not that long ago, maybe 2, 3 months ago. But it's so extremely helpful because one, I always have a soup on hand, and two, I don't waste soup. I don't have to cook it as often because it used to be I would cook once a week and they would never finish everything. I had to throw it away and I had to cook every single week. So if you have kids who enjoy soups, I would recommend doing the same thing, freezing some of it so you have it on hand.
And it's not a lie that I can't hide
And this is what we have: pasta and soups and some chicken from the soup that I had in that container for myself. And I also have some leftover chicken soup on a stovetop, so that is something that we were eating, all of us, for dinner that day. So anything left over went to the fridge, so I didn't have to leave any of those small containers. And of course, a lot of dishes again to wash and put away, which is typical after you're doing any sort of batch cooking. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some motivation, some encouragement to tackle your own to-do list and get ready for the week ahead. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.
what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning.